Hello everybody, astrology report here from now, today, and all the way down from the next week until Sunday, which is today it's October 4th till October 13th. I'll try every Sunday to do 1 week astrology report for you guys. There was a few questions about it, how the astrology impact us. So I had to give a brief explanation what the astrology is. First of all, you need to understand what we are living, what's the living force that keep everything in order into it. It is about gravitation. With the gravitation, our Earth just circle around the sun. Without the gravitations, the planets, they circle around the sun. But without that gravitation, we also circle around the zodiac signs, which is in, if you look at it again, that's how the line of the whole thing it's set up. The gravitation is the biggest force of this universe. The gravitation keeps the universe the way it is into it, and that gravitation creates a magnetic field. This magnetic field, if you are into the mechanical part, if you are into, like me, a maintenance guy, you would understand that a magnetic field is actually creates energy, and it's an effect in everything inside of this magnetic field. Since we are in a magnetic field, we get this energy affecting us. That's how basically the astrology is, kind of like I put it in a simple ways of simple things into it. So I'm gonna go towards the astrology report, but before the astrology report, into it, I have one quote for you, and that quote I posted quite often before into it. A moment of patience and a moment of anger save you 100 moments of regret, and that's what the current energy is. Try to see your anger or what's going on. We have a Mars that began to shift a couple of days ago to move out from Virgo. Sorry if you don't pronounce the words right. You probably understand it because of my little limitations here in the mouth. But Mars, when it was at Virgo, that was the part that need to heal things inside of yourself. When a Mars shifted at the last part of Virgo, which has happened like a few days back, that is the part of the things that you don't heal, and they create parts of you as aggravation. And the most of the astrology report will be focused basically on the shift of the planets into it. The most of the planets, they're going to stay pretty much wherever they are. Only small amount of planets moving into it. But we're talking about Mars. What is Mars? Mars, it's the warrior. Mars, it's the warrior on the personal level. That is the warrior in you. It represents your internal wars within your own self. Since he was in Virgo, that was the part of you that you need to heal, and you need to stop fighting within your own self in a positive way. That is the amount of inner work that you needed to do for be about the personal level. Since the Mars moved into Libra, which is as of today, Mars actually create a lot of things. That was a big shift about your relationship with others, and your relationship comes in from what you learn back at Virgo into. So I'm gonna go with the charts and go over to the magnetic fields or the energies. So as I told you, the planets are going around and they create aspects. In the base of those aspects, we know what kind of like a forces they are in parts. The astrology has been knowing this for years and years. The basic astrology was a planet and a sign, and what that represents into. As you see, Mars is at 32 minutes in Libra into. As of today, which is right now, the moon went into Capricorn today. When I went to a Capricorn, it squares Mars. And that creates a magnetic field of things that cannot be accomplished, things that cannot be done. Since Capricorn, it's about the professional part, things that you need to do, things that you need to be accomplished, and things that has to be done into. That can create that energy of your personal affairs, which is Libra, will affect your professional affairs into. So, when a Mars is in Libra, your relationship with others is going to be affected into it. I'm talking about relationship with friends, co-workers, lovers. It could be inside of your marriage, could be a relationship in your spiritual level, and all kind of relationships there in Libra. To remind you, Libra has nothing to do pretty much with the rest of the zodiac signs, because the rest of the zodiac signs, they are based on a human or an animal. Libra, however, is not. So for whatever reason, the ancients pick it up the Libra. Nobody knows, but that's the scales. It's got nothing to do with that part into. Now, when a Mars is in Libra, that's going to be one best advice I'm going to give it to you. Leave the weapons outside of your home, outside, I mentioned before, outside of the bedroom. Don't bring your personal issues into the bedroom, into the home. Don't bring your personal relationships into the place where you live, where you work, wherever you do your life into. Mars will be triggered because your ego wants to be triggered. The best part of Mars is going to show you the things that you need to work on in a personal level. If you look at it as a business level, you got to be very careful with the choices you're making into it, because you can be, for a reason, just getting aggravated on a partner or a client or something that's going to cost you these moments of regrets, of the quote that I posted earlier. Mars is going to be moving into Libra. That's something that's going to happen. Currently, we have also the Sun is in Libra. As you know, as you see it here, we have some Venus in Libra too. Venus in Libra, by the way, it's affected so much. It is affected by Pluto, by your surrounding. So if you feeling these energies that right now your love depends on the people of around you and you have to satisfy them, then that's not love. That is everything else but not love, because the love has to exist inside of you for you. And this aspect, which is a square, it's a very intense aspect, can put a lot of triggers inside of you about your relationships. Since the Mars is also there, that can create the biggest masculine, the biggest feminine energies inside of you on it to act. Be careful how you act. Your actions can create a lot of things. Okay, the warrior can destroy, but also the warrior can protect. The warrior can go ahead and go in war for something that is very bad, but the warrior can also do the war inside of himself to become a better man. So that is what you're going to look and what you're going to see into. Mercury is in Scorpio. Be careful what you're saying. Keep your tongue behind your teeth. Usually on this aspect, especially when there is this opposition with Uranus, I will be very careful what I'm saying to people and what I'm saying to my own self. There is a very big issues of the things what you're saying to yourself, because what you're saying to yourself will affect the relationship with yourself, but also the relationship with others. Silence, maybe it's going to be a good thing for you. We have a Jupiter who is in Sagittarius. He's currently on square with Neptune. That's when your growth it's lacking of your own visions, because you have to do your inner work of the visions on your own self for your own soul. And that's why Neptune, since it says retrograde, he's going to be retrograde for a while more, about almost 2 months. You will be feeling that energy right now, very powerful, very strong, which is going to be in the form of deja vus, dreams, daydreaming, visions, name it. Kind of like a giving you directions about life. And this week we are going to have, this coming up week, we're going to have one of the moons going to join Neptune. Is going to do something else, but that's going to coming up into. Moon is in a Capricorn. Job, professional relationships into it. Your focus about work, your things about work. But since the moon is squaring Mars, you're going to be probably looking at for very, very intense aggravations about of what you are at work. You maybe don't feel that you got the right thing. You maybe don't feel like you get the right situations. You maybe didn't feel like you get the right opportunities. If you're a business owner, you probably feel like you didn't did the right things. You can blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. Focus on yourself. Learn from the mistakes. But moment of anger again can cost you thousands of moments of regret down the road. Saturn, which is his limitations, is also in Capricorn. You feel like the things doesn't move, it still doesn't grow. Right now it's the moment for it that you have to learn how to grow. How to grow. Focus on what you need to improve for the better future. Pluto, move direct. Guess what? Your surrounding is going to be moving into it. Pluto represents your surrounding. It represents that part of very close friends, very close relatives, or very close kind of like people that you trust. That's moving direct. That means the things is going to get evolving now. Since Pluto and Saturn, they are both retrograde, they taught you what you need to learn in your soul. Now you have to perform. Did you perform what you learned in your professional level for personally to you and personally for others? That is entirely up to you. So this is about the current energy right now. Uranus, it's in Taurus, retrograde. Very powerful energies. This is you to learn how to put your soul vibrations, how to put your soul into affecting the material world. If you're aggravated about your spirituality, nothing good's gonna happen to you. If you use your spirituality to help and do the right things, the things won't line up within the universe. It's just a gravitation pull, the gravitation energy that it presents into. We're gonna be monitoring the moon as the moon is gonna be moving into. As you see, the moon, it moves, that's gonna be tomorrow. The moon's gonna be moved at mid-Capricorn. The moon is gonna be giving a sextile to Neptune, which is gonna increase those visions of what the things that you need to do, what you need to fix, what you need to look for it. Very good time to be alone. The reason I'm telling you very good time to be alone is because those lines here, it's gonna square the sun. And when it squares the sun, usually those are the things that you're gonna be looking about blaming yourself. But most of the people, they don't blame themselves. Most of the people, they blame others. They don't see their own mistakes. It's all about your inner work, how you're gonna be looking into it. By the way, also tomorrow, as you see here, there's gonna be a line from Uranus opposing Venus. And this is gonna be the time where a lot of the people are gonna feel like the love is gone. A lot of people's gonna feel like, what is going on with this? What is this situation into it that affect us? And since the moon is also squaring Venus, that part of the emotions is about your love. Do you really have the love? It is about what love does. If you take a look at it, it's the love that others demand from you, or the love that you demand from others you to receive. It is about you to find a spot where your love is with you. Because before you love somebody, you have to learn how to love yourself into. That is going to be a huge triggers on Saturday, which is tomorrow. Be careful with the things that you do. If you have to, take a day off from everybody. Escape, go under the rock, go under the cave. Probably that's what a lot of the men they're going to do. They're going to be, you know what, I had a lot of things that goes on. Don't bother me. Leave me alone. Please, if the man comes to you and he says, leave me alone, then leave them alone. If you're a woman and he says, like, you know what, I just need to be peace and quiet. We're not going to go out anywhere. I know what's going on, but please, I just need peace. Please, listen to your partner. It's about the relationship. As you see it, Mars, it has no aspects with the other planets. And that's where it's a very good day, the warrior inside of you, to sit down and look at its own actions of what it's going on or what it's going to be done into. So Sunday, as you see, the moon moves. Since the moon moves, the moon is going to begin to trine Mars. A lot of the mans or a lot of the people who went to the cave, the rock, they're going to be feeling that energy of, yes, I have to do the inner work on me. I have to look at the things. I have to change things. And that's going to prepare in that when the moon moves into Aquarius, which is going to be on Monday, to prepare their actions for the next week. The moon, when it comes into Aquarius, those are the people who are rebel. And you need to understand the rebel is the one who fights the old way, who fights the different things, who break patterns, who breaks limitations. And you got to be very careful when the moon's going to come into Aquarius, because that's energies here with Mars specifically and Libra. You can damage in a lot of relationships, or you can build the relationships within yourself to look at what is your things that you need to improve into. The energies here, as you see it, there's gonna be kind of like balances with the good and the bad. Don't be a ugly, because the ugliness part of the ego can come out and can show itself, and you can feel sorry about the things that goes on into. Okay, Monday. As I said, the moon, it's an Aquarius. The moon is going to create this T-square. We're calling it a T-square because it creates the letter T backwards. So there is a 90 degrees here and a 90 degrees here. And that is what we call in the T-square. So when you see this kind of like a T-square into it, whatever is on the top into, it's enforce the energy, since the moon, which represents our emotions and also represents our vibrations within the magnetic field, we are going to struggle with the feminine part. We're going to be, since the Uranus is going on against opposition against Venus. At the same time, it's got opposition with Mercury. And this is a time when you need to be careful, really, what to say, what to do. You gotta be very careful with your mouth in those days, specifically because during this time, you may be gonna be like, oh, well, nobody likes me, nobody wants me, nobody needs me, nobody gets into it, nobody's listening to me, I'm an abandoned, I'm this, I'm that. And all that is gonna come in and it's gonna affect your Mars. You can create these aggravations inside of the warrior in you, and you're gonna be like, you know what, screw this, screw that. It's gonna be some situations about you into it. Be very, very careful about what are you doing here with your personal relationship within the universe, how you fit into it. Because during these emotions, you can break limitations inside of you that satisfy your ego, but against the universe. So you gotta be very careful during that day at all cost. Into Tuesday, the rebellions continue, but now we have a trine with the Sun and Venus. Venus, by the way, is going to move into Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio is very special. That is the time when the love, the female feminine energy, goes into the underworld. Venus into the physical level, it's more in like a parts. It's going into like an exile, and that's going to be that some of the people, they're going to feel like they have to go in exile into the spirituality, astrology. That is the part when the love goes into the hell to shine there, to see what the darkness is, and to say, hey, the love is the right thing. And also during the Venus Scorpio, you may have a vivid dreams. You may have things that desires that comes in and come out and fire you up. This opposition Venus Uranus is going to be triggering for a while, so get yourself, do your inner work about learn to love yourself. You don't have to have depending on love from others, because others, if they don't give you love, then guess what? You're going to be feeling down. So this is one of the biggest lessons, that's why you're going into the darkness of a Scorpio into. Very good aspect is going to be from the moon, that she's sextile Jupiter, and Jupiter is sextile the Sun. This is going to be the time when you're going to be working on your inner self and the inner growth. Focus on you, what you need to make it better, and how you have to make it better, first for yourself and then for others as well. Wednesday, the moon is in Pisces. And this is the moment that I told you that the moon is going to come in here. As the moon in Pisces is going to sextile Uranus, that means you're going to establish a better relationship with the universe, God, however you want to call it, into it. It gives a very good energy towards Mercury and Venus. This is going to be probably the time that you're going to feel like you need to apologize to certain people. This is going to be the time when you're going to be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you, I was very angry, I wanted to repair the relationship, I want to do the right thing, I want to get the right stuff. That energy is going to be very good on Wednesday for a lot of reasons. If you look at it here, the green lines, which is those are the divine lines into it, this is called Yod, or also known as the finger of God. Into the top of that finger of God is going to be a Mars in Libra. This is going to be the time when you realize that you make a damage and it's time you to fix your damages. This is going to be the inner work that you have to do in yourself. Excuse me. Thursday. The moon is going to be coming in joy, Neptune. Very powerful day, very powerful things goes on into. She's going to be sextile Pluto and Saturn, which is finally you're going to be feel like, okay, I overcome my limitations. I have a new surrounding around me. The moon, it's also going to be empower Mercury, and Mercury is also sextile Saturn. That it means you're going to be feel the need of talking about your limitations. You're talking about the things that stopping you of the things that you need to do on all sphere of life, and personal, professional, love life. Anyway, you're going to feel that energy inside of you. There's going to be internal peace, which is going to be like, if you do the right actions, you get the right reward, which is the peace in the soul. And today it's going to be very much focused on all this energy. There's going to be a divine energy between the moon and the sun, as you see it. That green line, you're going to have an inner balance inside of you of what you are and what your vibrations are. You're going to be, if you did the right things, you're going to feel the satisfaction. That satisfaction that is in the soul. And also the moon, when it joins with Neptune, is going to be focused on those daydreams. It's going to give you on those directions. The part of which you need to move within a new life, the new cycle that's going to begin, because the moon, it begins a new cycle, which is when it's entering Aries. And if you did your inner work, you're going to feel that satisfaction. But the question it is what take you so long you to do this? Everything has its time and space. You can't just go out and force things to happen. They have to happen when they're supposed to happen. It's not about this. Be careful again with Mars within the relationship. Some of you maybe realize they're not in the right relationship. If the relationship has to go down, it has to go down in the right way. Into it, you just be honest, be truthful. If you are honest and truthful, this is gonna be comes in. Into on Friday, the moon is gonna be entering Aries. But before entering Aries, it's going to be at the end of Pisces, it's going to opposing Mars into. And this is going to be feel like, what the hell now, what I need to do. This is your new cycle, the new things that you need to work on it. If you did the inner work before, you don't do the inner work now. The inner work never stops you to become better. When the moon was here in Libra, which is the new moon in Libra, now the moon is totally opposing the parts into. I talked about the previous video that this is like, first of all, the moon and the sun, they see the same view like this. And now the moon is an opposite side. Now you're going to have the view of the whole object from two different point of views. And this is going to trigger, specifically begin to trigger Mars in Libra, and you're going to have the idea about the two relationships that you're fighting within yourself. Into the relationships with others, the relationship with everybody should be a good, should be a bad, what I need to act about this person or that person, what I need to, if you're a businessman, what I need to do about this situation or that client. You know, this client is blah, 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 that client is a blah, blah, blah. What I need to do, I may have to go to the client D or F or whatever. It's going to be a little mess inside of you during this period. Careful with those energies here. This is going to be a square with Jupiter, which is going to be preventing you from growth. Into your growth is limited because of you focus on what is going wrong, not what's going right. And if you don't see what is wrong, how are you going to fix it? This is why those negative aspects are to show you what the negative parts are, you to realize them, and you to do your inner work to fix it. And Saturday, the moon, it's in Aries. A new cycle will begin in there. The moon, it's going to be squaring Saturn. It's going to be opposing the sun. And those squares here, that we made it that G-square again. Okay. Those 90 degrees here with an opposition can create a lot of issues. The issues is that I'm going to thinking about myself, or I'm going to thinking about what I do with others into. The moon is going to be opposing Mars, and it's going to begin to opposing the sun. Those energies, they're going to be increased during the day, which is on Saturday, and the Sunday is going to be pretty much a full-blown opposition into it. It's going to be a full moon into. And that is Sunday. That is October 13th. You see how the moon, it's fully opposing the sun. There's two squares here. with Pluto and Saturn is going to be fully active. You're going to feel like limiting everything, get away from everybody. Be careful with your emotions, be careful with the love, because the love right now it's in darkness inside of you. And also be careful what you're saying. Giving you a little advice, usually during those times like this, people get offline, people get aggravated for reasons not because of you or because something happened before they met you. And you are probably going to be like the drop to overfill the cup. Be patient of it. Be patient with everybody around you. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the actions that you create. And most of all, focus enough. See the other side, what it looks like if you stepping up in their own shoes. If you're then stepping on their own way into. And this is the part of the growth personally for you, but this could be also growth part from others in your relationship into it. Again, don't bring anything within the relationships. Doesn't matter what kind of relationships they are. Don't bring the weapons in there. Don't fight. Don't do the things. Learn it how to be the best warrior that you can be inside of yourself. Win the war within your own self, and then show how the others you can win the fight. Because as I begin to tell this quote over and over, a moment of patience in a moment of anger save you 100 moments of regret. Thank you so much, guys. Be love. I'll see you next week.